Hey guys, look who fucking showed up finally.
Hey.
Okay, this is Kelly, by the way, just saying. It's the bitch that won't stop texting me. And driving can be really frustrating sometimes, like when stupid people pull out in front of you.
Kind of like old people and then just fucking cut you off, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting there in my car and then I'm like, I'll drive and I'm listening to music. And then an old person pulls out in front of me. I'm like, what the fuck, Grandpa?
And then they start going really fucking slow and then you're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, and then so you're like going like 5 miles per hour. It's like, and you're like revving your engine up. People like, and then they flip you off. It's like, what the F, Grandpa? I didn't know that finger still worked.
You'll be driving by and be like, what the fuck is this person doing? And then you'll look, and then they'll be the ones flipping you off. And then you're like, that old person is mean. Glad that's not my grandma.
Buses. If you go to school and say you're like walking up the steps, those steps are fucking horrible. I trip. Like every time I go on those bitches, they're like so far apart and so small, I can't stand walking up them.
I feel the exact same. I mean, and then you're looking at the person behind you and you're like, yeah, don't look at my ass, okay? And then you sit next to somebody on the bus that you don't even know who the fuck they are, and they're like somebody really little, and then you're like, hi, I'm in high school, and I hope I don't look intimidating. I don't want to scare you, but I gotta sit next to you, so leave me the fuck alone.
And then those little kids are like, I want my mommy. And you're like, calm the fuck down. I'm not gonna kill you. I'm just gonna sit here for a minute until I get on the high school, dude. And then there's this other person that comes walking on, and for some reason she has like a fucking huge duffel bag and a book bag and then a purse at the same time, and she walks by and she like smacks you in the head with it, and you're like, fucking bitch.
And then you go to school with a fucking black eye, and then you're like,
so in happier news, be careful when you're on the bus and when you're driving, people, because there's people like us who get fucking pissed off at stupid little shit.
yeah, and I'm pretty reckless. I mean, there was this guy that was in front of me, and we were in traffic, and he was all, like, waiting, and he got impatient, and then he ran a fucking stop sign, and, well, he didn't run the stop sign, but he, like, sped up to get out of the zone, and I was following him, and I dazed, and I just ran the stop sign, and my dad's like, Kelly! And I'm like, what the fuck? And I almost ran into a car, and I was like, don't fucking scare me.
Just saying, if you chew, like, say you put a nice big piece of juicy meat in your mouth, and you're like, yum, that is so tasty, yum. And then you take a big drink, and you're like, yum, oh, I love this drink. I'm like, ready to shoot your ass.
Well, I'm not, you know, I'm not a meat eater, so that won't happen with me, but, you know. I also hate it when people, like, they'll be chewing their food or whatever, and they'll have, like, a saliva problem, and they produce way too much, so when they're chewing their food, you can hear it swishing around in there, and you're like, I'm gonna be scarred for life, and all you can do is sit there chewing like that, and now you're chomping on. You can see the fucking food in your mouth and all that saliva, and it's gonna fall out. Be fucking careful. And then you're like, oh my god, where was this person raised, you know? I ask my dad that all the time. Mine said that.
Alright. Texting! Okay. Don't you hate it? Like, okay, you're texting like 5 people at a time. Oh my god, you guys are so funny. And then, out of nowhere, nasty Johnny boy starts texting you. I don't think I'm going to answer him. So click exit. And then 5 minutes later, hey, I texted you like 5 minutes. I know, don't want to text you anymore. And then he keeps texting you and texting you like a freaking stalker guy, and you get all freaked out and shit. And so that's one thing I hate about texting.
Wait, wasn't Johnny the one with the AIDS? Or you'll get some person, let's just call him Bob, okay? You used to talk to him, whatever, and you don't really remember being friends with him. Then he adds you on Facebook, and then you're like, oh, okay. And then he's like, hey, here's my number. You should text me. Okay. So you text him, And then they're like, hey, I've always thought you were really cute. Cool. Yeah. Do you ever think that you could date me? Dunno, kid. We should hang out sometime. Fucking doubt it, you creeper!
That actually happened to her last night. And then the creeper's texting her again. I told her not to answer, though. I don't know if she did or not. Did you? She answered. What a fucking idiot, right? I would just ignore that kid until they stop texting until they got the hint. But yeah, who knows?
And you get those people who ask you the same thing like a million times, like that same creeper stalker kid or whatever. He asked me what I was doing this weekend like 10 times. Dude, I'm partying this weekend. Oh, well if you don't, well, I'm gonna be partying this weekend. Well, if you don't, then we should hang out. What don't you get about I'm partying this weekend? And I'd rather party than hang out with you. So, get it through your fucking head, kid. Partying with my cousin because it's her birthday and we're going to celebrate. We're going to have fun. People you don't know that text you. What about that? You're just like, who the fuck is this? And then, you know, they always take forever to text you back. Why is that?
Because they know they've been caught in a creeper status. You're like, who's this bitch texting me? And they're like, fuck, she knows. Delete, 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 and stuff like that. Oh, okay. So say you're freaking texting and you have this amazing ringtone. It's like your favorite song in the world and you're in love with it. Like mine right now is on Nicki Minaj and she's like, step up in the party like my name is that bitch and stuff like that. And you're texting like 500 people and like you get the message and it'll start playing and it'll be like step up in the so yeah, and it just keeps playing over and over. That's what makes you not like the song anymore, people. So if you think you're gonna be texting more than one person at a time, don't put a ringtone because you'll just get fucking annoyed and want to throw your phone at the wall.
Like, hey, I gotta tell you something really important. And then you're like, what? And then they're like, I don't remember. Seriously? Wow, must not have been that important. They're like, no, it really was. And you're like, really? You would have remembered if it fucking was, okay? Seriously.
Yeah. Texting. One of the worst things in the world, but everybody does it.
Kinda like sex. One of the worst things in the world, yet everybody does it.
Not me.
Everyone eventually does it.
Woo. How long is it?